What if one reckless statement on live TV could ignite a path to world war? Welcome to TFI Global. On September 4, 2025, Fox News host Jessewatters made a provocative statement suggesting almost casually that the future Power of Siberia 2 pipeline, a mega deal over $400 billion energy project between Russia and China, might have to be bombed, just like the Nord Stream pipelines. Now, stop for a second and think. This isn't just a statement, it's a mindset, a dangerous Western elite mindset at that, which normalizes sabotage, conflict, and escalation. And this time, the consequences could be far more catastrophic than anything we have seen in Europe and the entire world. On his primetime show, Waters looked at the strengthening ties between Moscow and Beijing. He reminded his audience that the Power of Siberia 2, once finished, will supply 15% of China's energy needs. Then came his provocation, quote, "Perhaps someone will have to bomb this pipeline like the Nord Stream." He even flashed air quotes with his hands while saying someone, hinting at what many believe was a covert Western hand in the 2022 Nord Stream blasts. The statement wasn't an accident, it was a deliberate rhetorical flourish echoing the same Cold War-style thinking that sees energy cooperation between rivals as a threat to be destroyed rather than a reality to be negotiated. It is the same old Cold War mindset that if you're not with them, you're automatically against them. Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea are branded as a so-called axis of evil, feeding into an endless us versus them mentality, with constant plots to weaken and corner the other side. Let's rewind. September 26, 2022, two huge Russian gas pipelines, Nord Stream 1 and 2, explode under the Baltic Sea. Europe was cut off from cheap Russian gas overnight. Energy prices skyrocketed and inflation gripped Germany and much of the European Union. Investigations in Sweden, Denmark, and Germany hinted at sabotage, but no conclusive official verdict has ever been published. The Russian government repeatedly called it an act of international terrorism. Journalist Seymour Hersh later claimed that US Navy divers planted explosives during NATO exercises, allegedly under orders from the White House. The West never confirmed this, but one fact was clear. The Nord Stream attack rewired Europe's economy, weakening Germany's industrial engine and forcing Europe into expensive LNG dependency from the US and the Middle East. Now, imagine a repeat of Nord Stream, but this time not in Europe but in Asia. The Power of Siberia 2 pipeline is a geopolitical game changer. Expected to transport 50 billion cubic meters of gas annually from Russia to China through Mongolia, it cements a long-term Moscow-Beijing partnership. For Russia, it's economic survival after being locked out of European markets, whereas for China, it's energy security, a guaranteed supply that can't be sanctioned, blocked, or cut off by Western naval dominance. Together, the project reduces Western leverage over two of its biggest rivals, and that's exactly why voices like Waters frame it as a target. But here's the problem. Bombing Siberia 2 wouldn't be a covert operation. It would be an act of war against both Russia and China. Unlike Nord Stream, which primarily hit Europe, Siberia 2 directly involves Beijing, the world's second largest military power, aspiring superpower and nuclear one. Any sabotage here risks dragging not just Russia but also China into an open confrontation with the West. And unlike 2022, the global economy is already fragile. Europe is still battling inflation, energy crisis, and job losses. A pipeline war in Asia would trigger oil price spikes, market collapses, and potentially even a nuclear standoff. This isn't a video game, this is reality, and the cost of reckless words could be billions of lives. The question is simple. Who actually benefits from constant sabotage, conflict, and war? Ordinary Americans? No. Ordinary Europeans? Certainly not. They're already paying higher bills, losing jobs, and facing inflation. Peace and stability are in the interest of the people every day. But the geopolitical elite globalist mindset of, if we can't control it, we blow it up, is what drives instability. Instead of seeking cooperation, the West risks isolating itself further, pushing Russia, China, and even others like Iran and North Korea into an axis of resilience against constant sabotage threats. So let's ask, do provocative statements like Waters reflect free speech, or are they trial balloons for dangerous strategies? Because one thing is certain, blowing up the part of Siberia too wouldn't just cripple Russia or China, it could ignite a conflict that burns the entire world. Peace isn't secured through bombs, sabotage, or pipelines destroyed in the dark of the sea. It's secured by dialogue, balance, and respect. And right now, that mindset is what the world is running out of. Thanks for watching.